Welcome back to Gun and Shot TV. This is Chris, and today I was going to be talking about gun control. I try not to be too political on this, but occasionally there are certain things that come up, new ways of pulling gun control off that I think are pretty important to mention, so people are aware of it and know what to look for. The other day, I stopped in my local Cabela's, and I bought some ammo for the AK that I made a video about not that long ago. And it was funny because there wasn't a lot of ammo I could find in stock places, but I went in Cabela's and they had everything. They had 22 sitting on the shelf. They had all kinds of ammo, everything I could think of. And they had really good prices. Everything was on sale. And the shelves were full. And I was like, well, this is crazy. Why is everything so well stocked? And then it came to me. I remembered the Cabela's local to me is actually in Cook County, Illinois, which is the home of Chicago and lots of Chicago politicians. Well, they found it in their heart of hearts to pretty much allow guns when pressed by the Supreme Court, but they're not actually that happy about it. So they came out with this new tax. I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard about it, especially people obviously not in Cook County. But the new tax is, on ammunition, you pay a penny per round of rimfire and a nickel per round of centerfire ammo, on top of the 10% sales tax that's already in the county. And they also passed a tax that's a $25 tax on any firearm purchase. Well, you know, it's just extra money. But obviously that pretty much pushes consumers out of the county and pretty much makes it much harder for a gun shop, an FFL, to operate within that county. So it's kind of interesting. I got my receipt here. I've got it. I'll put a still up so you can read it. And I was doing some thinking about it, and I tried to figure out, you know, is it just a new way of gun control? So I'm not an economics expert, obviously, but the way I figure it, supply and demand, all that stuff I learned in microeconomics. Here's let's say this is where our current path of the price of ammo is, and here it is with another 30% tax added, right? And so here's your two demand curves. And, you know, eventually prices are going to get so high, people won't be able to afford to go shooting. So we'll say this is where that point is. And now with this higher price, you know, maybe people will be a little bit more flexible and they'll put it there. You know, but you've got this, and you got to look, too. These prices, they're just based on the taxes. Obviously, ammo and everything could fluctuate a little bit, too. So, we'll, you know, to build in that fluctuation, we'll give a nice round curve here. And then we have to remember to label our axis so that the graphic makes a little bit more sense. So we're going to label this giant penis shape gun control. And we're going to label this in the corner as your ass. So from what I can tell, the tax is pretty much a new way to stick prices in your ass through taxes and gun control. Because if there's one thing they can't do, they can't take away the Second Amendment in certain ways, but if they can tax the hell out of it and keep people from buying, I think that will work for their needs as well. So this is something to consider. And while I am joking around about this, here's the actual numbers. You know, it's $5 plus a 10% sales tax for the county. That's 51 cents plus a nickel per round. That's $1. That's you know, with rounding, that's 30% sales tax you're paying. And where's that money going? What are they going to do with that money? I have a guess. But essentially, they want guns out of that county. So while I am joking around a little bit and trying to have a little bit of fun with what is a pretty bad situation, the one thing I will say about gun control is, as we've seen, the Supreme Court, luckily up to this point, has actually somewhat come around and pretty much upheld the Second Amendment. But what we're really starting to see is local efforts, state, local elections. That's where this battle is going to be fought now, because the Supreme Court seems to be, for the current time, backing up gun owners. So what you need to do is go out and vote in those local elections. I know they're stupid. I know it's people you've never heard of and you don't care about. But if the Second Amendment's important to you, if your rights are important to you, go fight. Otherwise, things like this Cook County ammo tax, you know, states like California, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, places where they're passing assault weapons bans and such, you know, locally is where those are being fought now. And so that's where you need to concentrate. And the big thing you have to look at is these big groups, you know, Moms Demand Action, what is it, mayors for gun control, whatever that, every town for gun control, whatever that other goofy one is. They have a lot of money, and nationally the NRA is pretty good at fighting that, and the Second Amendment Foundation and those groups. But if these anti-gun groups could take that money and jam it in a small local area, they can probably get a lot more stuff swing in their direction, whether it's actually what I would consider ethical way of doing it or not. So it's important that you go out and you vote, especially in those local elections. I know everybody's focusing on the presidential election, and that is important because it's going to have some of those Supreme Court justices coming up pretty soon here. We've got one to be filled and another one around the corner. And if my spider sense is correct, I have a feeling that our old constitutional scholar friend Barack Obama might be in the run for one of those seats. So that's another thing to think about. Should that second one vacate? Now he's got 2 chances to win. But anyways, like I said, I try not to be too political, but just, even if you're anti-gun, just go out and vote in your local elections. I don't care. Vote for whoever you want to. But like I said, specifically as a gun owner, stuff like these taxes, it's just horseshit, and there's no real justification for it. That money's not going to change gun crime in Chicago. Those people are all felons. They're not going into Cabela's and showing their FOID card and buying ammo. It's all a scam, and it's all a joke. And as soon as we can get politicians to be a little bit more honest, I think that will change for the better. For Gun and Shot TV, this is Chris. Like I said, I'll try not to do much more political stuff on you, but please go out and vote in your local elections, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.